A good evening to all across the Hornet Nation. We are coming to you live from Brooklyn Park Arena, where your Bantam Hornets will be taking on the Champlin Park Rebels. If you recall, we played the Rebels quite a while ago now in another friendly scrimmage. So this will be part two as the Hornets tune up for this weekend's Grand Forks tourney. So it's late. We all love the fact that we are in Brooklyn Park, and we are just moments away from puck drop. So stay tuned. So we're going to start out with Hester, Ivany, and Ewers, backed up by Potts and Potter. So away we go. Boys battling on the far wall as Ewers tries to get control, and Champlin Park drives now down towards the Hornet end. Dropping it on the line, intercepted by Hester, tried to get it up to Ewers. And Champlin resets from behind their cage. Just making some adjustments here, so bear with me. Potter meets his man behind the cage, and he swings it back to Potts. Potts looks up to Ewers, and he sneaks it up to Ivany. Ivany now, 2-on-1 situation as he rolls in with Hester, sliding across. Hester tried to thread the needle. He tried to go through the wickets, and it was denied by Champlin. Short side shot by Ivany, turned away by the Champlin Park tender. Now the Rebels look to press through the neutral zone, reeling all the way down, around, firing a short side shot, turned away by Bambry. Now the Hornets press their advantage up on the wall, but they're stopped short and flung right back down into the Hornet end. From behind the cage, looking up, Mizzle tries to direct it up, stolen away in the slot. And now Bauer fires up. And a pass a bit too far going down into the Champlin end for an icing. Nolan on the draw. He's got Bergmeyer, and as Bergmeyer races up the side, he's reeling and dealing. He stops short, and he throws it back down. Now on the wall. Champlin Park pinned against the wall. Nolan firing across the line, looking. Sliding it over to Mizzle. Mizzle now around the circle, looking in. Out front, banging, but nothing. Darlene pinches up and throws it down to Bergmeyer in the corner. Bergmeyer battles his man, Farrar in to help out, and slides back to Darlene at the point. A long shot right off the wood and a stick high in the air. I don't know whose that was. As Champlin Park turns the tide and rolls back down the other way. Leaving it right in the slot and swept aside as Champlin Park works from the corner. Mizzle wheels and deals and throws it up to Ferrara. Ferrara throws it up to Bergmeyer, just a bit too far, and Champlin now throwing it, but Mizzle intercepts, and we get an offsides. So for all you sailors out there, I'm single-handing it. So if the tracking isn't as expected, you'll know why. Champlin Park in, driving into the Hornet end. Potter is pressing his man against the wall as Kurvita leaves it for Potts, who throws it up the wall. Potter now driving through the neutral zone, loses the handle. He's hooked, but he still continues it on down to the Champlin Park end. From behind the cage, disrupted there by Wilkins. As Champlin goes rink wide and makes the connection at the red line and punch it down into the Hornet end. Potts meets his man and dishes it around to the near side to Wilkins. Intercepted right in the circle, but intercepted back by Potter. He throws it down into the Champlin Park end. As Champlin Park goes D to D, they try to headman a pass, and it's picked off by Curvita. Curvita loses the handle. Now it's swept up by Wilkins. Wilkins banks it up to Ivany, and Ivany now gains the line on the right side. Walking in against three Champlin guys. Around the net. Stopping short, looking for an outlet pass. Trying to get it out front. He sends it back to the point. Sweeping across, a firing shot. Now, into the bench or something. As Ivany picks it up from behind with speed, rolling around, he drops it off to Helmer. Helmer now, he leaves it to Hester. Hester gets pickpocketed. Here comes Champlin driving in, looking across, right in the slot, firing shot, turned away by Bambry and saved and covered up. So we got Nolan on the draw with Ferrara and Bergmeyer, backed up by Bauer and Helmer. Helmer on the wall, working his man as Champlin tries to gain possession. They throw it out into the high slot, back to the point. A one-timer down in the far side corner. Bauer from behind the cage. He's picked off, and he leaves it for Ewers. Ewers now, long stretch pass up to Hester. Skips over his stick, and Champlin banks it up, but it's Nolan there on the trailer, holding the line and slamming it down into the corner. Champlin from behind the net, looking up, looking to establish a breakout. Sliding it up on the far side wall. Bauer stands his man up. Nolan tried to get it to Hester, and it just banked off a Champlin player. The Rebels throw it down into the Hornet end where Helmer gives chase. Helmer banks it and it leaves it for Hester. Hester throws it all the way around to the far side to Bauer. Bauer, long stretch pass, intercepted right in the slot. There it is, firing shot over the net. He was all alone. As Helmer tries to sweep it out. Rebels are persistent on this forecheck, holding it on the line. And Hester throws the wood. Champlin, very aggressive, rolling in, on the circle, firing shot, waffled away by Tyler. Ewers trying to meet his man on the wall, banging around. Sticks flying up in the air as the puck's sent down to the near side. Punch back down, Helmer meets his man, battles with the taller guy as he tries to squeeze out. Now Champlin around the circle, back to the high slot point, down to the circle. Looking, back to the point. Champlin fires, a tip, nothing. As Champlin they are feasting on the Hornets right now, wheeling it around. Now on the far side. Bauer rubs his man out. Weak shot sent wide of the net. Helmer looks up ice. Long stretch pass just beyond Hester's reach. And it's sent down into the Rebel end where they collect and they look for a fast transition breakout. Now, with speed, through the neutral zone. Grinding all the way through. Gaining the line, walking in on the dot and fanning on the shot. Mizzle tries to press his man into the glass as they're behind the net, battling. Mizzle looks up ice. Long stretcher, little bit beyond, but it's picked up by Ferrara, who rolls down. He runs into traffic, but he still holds his own. There's a centering pass. Can't quite make the connection as the Rebels tilt the ice back the other way and roll down. Running into traffic as Darlene now assesses. Slides it up. Knocked off the stick of Bergmeyer, but Darlene catches his own. He's rolling in. He's firing. A leg pad save by the Rebels as it kicks out of the zone, and Ivany has to reset. Ivany now rolls it up to Mizzle, who gains on the left side, walking around the circle. Out in front, nothing. Ivany controls at the point. Now sweeping back, looking down in the side shot as Ferrara collects on the near side. Sweeping out in front into the slot. He slides it back to Darlene, but there was a Rebel waiting. Driving down on the right side with speed, rolling in, cannot make the turn as Mizzle boxes him out. Up to Bergmeyer on the wall. He assesses, tries to stretch it across. A fortuitous hand pass, and Ferrara slides it up right into the arms of the Rebels as they slam it back down into the Hornet end. Darlene from the corner looks up ice to Ferrara. Ferrara now kicks it up, sends it down just over the line into the waiting arms of the Rebels as they go D to D, and now cross ice pass, gaining the line. All the way around the circle, a firing shot off the clanker. Did you hear the clank? Up on the wall. Rebels pounding it back up. A very physical brand of hockey. It's both teams trying to establish possession. From the corner, Rebels hold the zone and they punch it right back down. Potts is going to meet his man. Nolan keeping his man to the outside as the Rebels work from the corner, trying to get a centering pass. They roll it, they center it, but it's swept away. Rebels from the wall, looking to wheel around. We're going to get a penalty. And indeed, that's the case. It's going to be a tripping call. Skrvita's going to do some hard time. So it's 6:24 the first, no score. The Rebels will have a man advantage. So Nolan and Wilkins kill this one off with Helmer and Bauer. Puck slides down into the Rebel end. Nolan gives chase, and we get an icing. So we'll do it again. Nolan on the drop. Puck slides just beyond the Rebels' reach, and it's a foot race as Wilkins rolls down on the left side and gains the line. Sweeping in, firing a shot, hitting the post, dislodging the net. It's a yard sale down there. But alas, did not find the back of the net. So face off to the right of the Rebel tender. Nolan on the draw, sends it back to Helmer. Helmer surveys. Certified fresh cranker into the belly of the Rebel tender. Somehow the Rebels picked up a penalty, so I don't know what the deal was. So we're 4-on-4 hockey. As the puck slides back into the Hornet end, Bauer sends it to Nolan. Nolan sweeps around, looks at his options. Now rolling with speed through the neutral zone. He gains on the right side. He looks from the circle, driving around, looking for an outlet. He's going to keep it himself. Now from the point, looking, firing from the slot, and it's in. At 5:37, the Hornets have broken the ice. 1-0. So Ivany and Ewers out. Backed up by Mizzelt and Darlene. Puck now drives down. Rebels firing a shot, turned away by Bambury. From the corner, Mizzelt looks up, tries to chisel up the wall, and the Rebels are pinning him around, gaining control behind the net. As Darlene sticks in the air, rubs his man against the glass, up to Mizzelt. Mizzelt now headmans it all the way up to Ewers. Ewers racing in. It's Ewers. Ewers, can you? Oh, and he can't quite make the turn on the deke. And he's sent to the ice as the Rebels pick it up and now stretch it. But it's intercepted by Ivany as he looks, he surveys. All the way up on the sidewall, now wheeling and dealing. Turned aside by the Rebels, who punch it right back down, and Darlene sends it across to Mizzle. Mizzle looking up ice. Stopping short, wheeling on the wall. Pounded back down by the Rebels, all the way back down to Darlene. Darlene from his own zone, firing up to Mizzle, who slams it down into the Rebel end. Rebels from the corner, looking up ice, dropping it behind the cage, looking for an outlet pass. Nothing available. Stolen away by Ivan. He tried to center it, picked up by Mizzle in the slot, all the way on the tender. He's forced to cover up with 4:19 on the clock. So the Hornet penalty has expired, so we have a man advantage for 13 seconds. As Nolan, Ferrara, and Bergmeyer roll on. Backed up by Potter and Potts. Rebels from behind the net. Slam it out. Goes all the way down. We're going to get an icing. Tied up on the dot, comes away, Ferrara banging at it, comes to Nolan. Nolan sliding it across to Potter. Potter looks, fires! Oh, it hits traffic. That was heading towards the uppers. As the Rebels now trying to work it and knocked off the puck by Ferrara with a ferocious check. Rebels slamming home all the way down. Potts from behind the net. Looking up. Wheels, deals, slides it over to Potter. Potter now, up to Ferrara, one-timer to Nolan. Not crisp enough, and it's sent right back down and held up on the line. Nolan trying to drive it into the zone. Potter doing the same. Nolan fires it. Now, he tries to wheel in. So does Ferrara on the trailer. Nothing. As Potter is knocked down from behind, we're going to get a call. Elbowing is the call, and the Hornets will be on the man advantage with 3:21 on the clock in the first frame, and the score 1-0. So Ivany, Bergmeyer, Wilkins, Ewers, and Darlene. Puck sent back to Ewers at the point. He surveys. He looks. He tries to slide it down to Darlene, but here come the Rebels on the counter, rolling across the line, firing it across. No connection on the pass as the Hornets fast break back the other way. With speed, Darlene gains the line, and we have an offside. Off the draw, Bergmeyer. Rebels send it up ice. One Rebel against 3 Hornets, and it slides down, and Banbury steers it across to Darlene. Darlene drops it to Ivany. Ivany sliding up to Bergmeyer on his backside. He punches it up into the zone, and it slides right back out. Ewers now across the line, dishes back to Darlene. Darlene from the backside, looks up, leaves it for Ivany. Ivany through the neutral zone. He gains on the right side as he waltzes in and looks for a centering opportunity around the net. Loses it in the corner. Still looking. Sliding it down. Bergmeyer from the circle. Curls, turns, burns. He's looking for an option too. Slides it to Wilkins. Wilkins looks back, sends it to Ewers. Ewers loses it, but it's picked up by Darlene at the point, who slides it to Ivany. Ivany tried to draw it in for a shot, nothing doing. Ivany across the line, sliding it down to Ewers. Ewers breaks in on the circle. There's it is to the tip out front, but nothing. Ewers from the corner, sliding it back to Ivany. Ivany walks across the line, looks. He surveys. Doesn't like what he sees. He slides it down all the way out front. Oh, and a connection there by Wilkins just missed its mark as the Rebels are desperate to punch it out. And finally they do, and send it all the way down for an icing with 1:38 on the clock and 17 seconds left in the man advantage. So Nolan, Hester, and Kurvita in, backed up by Bauer and Mizzelt. Off the draw, Hester surveys from the circle, driving, leaving it to Bauer. Bauer slides across the line, fires a shot, hits a stick and goes into the corner, banked up the wall. Bauer holds the line, and it's sent down by Nolan. Kurvita meets his man behind the net, wheels from the corner, and the Rebels get just enough of a stick on it to drive it out, where Mizzelt picks it up and he goes D to D over to Bauer. Bauer up ice to Kurvita. Kurvita tries to slide it through to Hester, but the Rebels pick it off at the red line. Rolling down, gaining the line, and throwing it down into the Hornet end. Mizzelt from behind the cage, sliding it up to Hester. Hester, long stretch pass to Nolan. Here's the break we're all looking for. Here it comes. Yes, no! Saved by the... oh, what a save. Wow. It's Mizzelt now, working the wall, trying to get it out. Uses his skates, but he sends it right to the Rebels, who try to wheel around. Nothing doing. It's Bauer now, in on the corner, punching it up the wall. Mizzelt, long stretch pass to Hester. Hester looks across, gets it to Nolan. Nolan breaks across the line, wheels in on the left side, around the circle, looking, nothing. Hassled by a Champlin, and he's taken down as Champlin now drives back and tilts the ice back the other way, rolling across the line, looking for a centering pass. Just a bit too far as the Rebels hold court behind the net. Nolan trying to break up the play, trying to stuff it around. The Rebels now get some clear ice. Looking, sliding it all the way across. A hot pass was just too hot from the wall, and that'll do it. 1-0, and we'll be back. All right, we switched the signal over to Wi-Fi, so hopefully it's a little bit stronger. And I now have a proper cameraman. So expect dramatic improvements in the broadcast quality. As Ivany Bergmeyer and Ferrara roll on, backed up by Potter and Potts. Puck sent down into the Hornet end. Potter wheels it around to Potts, who throws it up the wall to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer from the corner. Knocked off the puck by a Rebel who looks to center it out front. Looking. Still looking. Across. Deflected away. Now stolen. A firing shot over the net. Boys, proper breakouts. Puck flung out right in the slot. Picked up by Potts, who rolls up the ice. He gets it up to Ivany. Ivany gains on the left side. Around the circle. Slides it behind the net as the Rebels try to bang it, and now they counter back with speed through the neutral zone. Gaining on the right side, 3-on-2 situation. A firing shot, a save by Banbury. So I'm going to bring on Nolan Ewers and Hester, backed up by Bauer and Helmer. Helmer battles his man in the corner. Nolan in to help out. Rebels come away from the near side wall. Defense pinches, but it's stolen away by Ewers. Ewers battles his man up into the red line. Just a bit too far for Hester, and the Rebels now counter, gaining in the center. Firing a shot, waffled away by Banbury. Picked up on the wall by Ewers. Ewers slides it all the way across. Hester races to battle his man. He whiffs on the stick check, and here comes Nolan, gaining on the left side. So all the way over to Ewers. A hot pass. He couldn't handle it from the corner. Ewers now walking his way around, centering it out front. It's in the air. Rebels now pick it up and reclaim possession as they work to break out. Bunch of boys on the wall. Bauer tries to come away with it. Nolan from the high slot, a firing shot. A rebound is in the offing. A pound. Nothing. Ewers almost put that one home. Are we on... Test. Test. All right, we lost some audio, but I guess we're back. All sorts of problems today.
I can hear it.
All right, if you guys can't hear us out there, let us know. As we get an icing with 12:33 on the clock in the second, and the Hornets up 1-0. So Ivany Kurvita and Wilkins backed up by Darlene and Mizzelt. Puck slides behind the Rebel net as the Rebels look to punch it out of the zone. Ivany scooping up right on the dot. It comes away to Kurvita, who tries to slide it across. There's a banging shot. Nothing as the Rebels now pick up from their own end, and they do a long stretch pass through the neutral zone. Intercepted by Mizzle, who sends it back, but the Rebels are persistent, and they gain the line on the left side. Toe dragging around, trying to get it out front. Make it in the slot for a second as the Rebels are buzzing. Now, sent across to Kurvita. Kurvita through the neutral zone, slides it up to Mizzle, who gains on the right side. Walks into the slot, a firing shot, a rebound. Covered up by the Rebel tender. So we'll do it again. Ivany on the draw. Puck slides to the wall. Wilkins now and tries to roll around the back of the cage and is picked up by the Rebels. But Kurvita is in there to disrupt play. He bangs it back down the other way, and pursuit is by Wilkins. Rebels counter with some physical play that's held on the line by Darlene. Walking in, firing. Saved by the Rebel tender. So Nolan, Ferrara, and Bergmeyer in, backed up by Potts and Potter. From the corner, Bergmeyer tries to drill it back to Potts, but it's disrupted by the Rebels. Bergmeyer battles on the wall. We're going to get something. Looks like coincidentals. I don't know. Indeed, that is the case. Bergmeyer's protesting, but he's going to go. So it's still 5-on-5 hockey with 11:15 left. I guess they were getting handsy over there on the boards. I don't know. I didn't see it. So Ewers takes Bergmeyer's place. Ewers racing his man back behind the net as they slide it behind the cage. From the corner, Rebels looking for a breakout. Up on the near side wall. They slide it up and across, and it's Potter who sends it right back up the wall. Boys battling on the line. Right across, picked up by Ferrara, who curls and looks up ice. Doesn't like what he sees, and he retreats to behind the cage. Now, with speed, Ferrara rolls through the neutral zone. He's going to gain on the right side. Some fancy footwork. Rolling around. He's tripped. No call. Unbelievable. As the Rebels now counter back the other way. Where it's stopped by Potts on the wall and shoved right up by Nolan. Countering are the Rebels, rolling across the line. One guy against three, looking for a lane. He's got no help. trying to slide it out front, held at the point, chipped up by Nolan. Nolan tried to tap it up to Ferrara, and it's punched right back through by the Rebels as they sweep it down the left side. Looking around, on the dot, firing across. Pass flipped up in the air as the Rebels now pressing hard. Ewers tries to chip it around his man, loses it, but Nolan picks it up at the red line. Streaking in, he's got Ferrara. Knocked off the puck at the last second and driven down into the end boards. Nolan battling his man, trying to come away. He's got it. He kicks it into the corner. Back to the point. Kurvita now rolling around in the circle. He's still got the puck. Look at that. He's just banging at it. Kurvita sliding back to Bauer. Bauer punches it right up to Ferrara, who wheels his way around. That's Hester. Hester in the high slot. A firing shot legged away by the Rebel tender. Puck rolls to the near side boards as now the Rebels are in trouble. They got a break here. Helmer's last man back. Slid across in the high slot. They're firing. Turned away by Bambry. Well done, Bambry. Helmer from the backside. Looks up. Slides it across. Picked up by Bauer, who's going to gain the line on the right side. Dropping to Kurvita. Kurvita slides it across to Hester. Hester on the far side boards. Just chips it up deeper into the Rebel territory as they slam it around the near side. A cranker from the point. Certified fresh, but not on target. Ivany right in the high slot for Bauer. Bauer fires, legged away. Still clear. Ivany from the point, picks it up, looks, surveys, throws it down to Kurvita. Kurvita meets his man and punches it right back to Bauer. Bauer picks it up on the near side wall, slides it back. Can they hold the line? No, they can't. Helmer's got to regroup. He slides it over to Ivany. Ivany at the red line. Back to Helmer. Helmer from the backside, looks up, long stretch, sneaks through everybody and goes all the way down. And we got an icing, 8-19. And the Hornets still clinging to a 1-0 lead. So Ewers, Hester, Nolan, Darlene, Mizzle. Mizzle from the corner, sweeps around the net, chucks it up the wall to Darlene, who gives it to Ewers. Ewers sliding across to Nolan. Nolan breaking down, hassled, hooked, everything, and denied an opportunity to get a shot off as the Rebels play possession and down deep. It's slid out front. It's fired. Nothing. Rebels now resetting behind their own net. Wheeling up. Sticks are hooked, can't get any possession as both teams are battling to get a pass off a one-time shot denied. Back to Mizzle at the point. Rolls in the slot, fires a shot, and it goes up high over the glass. Darlene sends it right back down. Ewers just a bit too far. Now the Rebels slide it all the way up Frisbee style. He can't find it in his skates, but he leads it to his trailer. Now, wheeling in on the dot. Trying to short side stuff it. Nothing doing. Tyler denied it. Into the slot again. Rebels buzzing. So they're all piled up in the line and comes away, and Wilkins chases down into the Rebel zone. Rebels from the blue line. Slide it up on the wall. All the way across the red line. Gaining on the right side. Rolling in. High slot. Shot over the net. Kurvita from the corner. Loses the puck. Rebels from behind. Right out front. Banging. And it's in. He was all alone. Right in front of the net. And this game is tied at 6:57 in the second. So, Ivany, Wilkins, Kurvita on, backed up by Potts and Potter. Potter from the backside, slides it across to Potts, who looks up by us, gets it to Kurvita. Kurvita held up on the blue line as the Rebels look to punch it back the other way. Kurvita banging at it. Ivany banging, Potts banging, and the Rebels roll across the blue line. It's swept away by Potts at the last second, but the trailer for the Rebels still holds the zone, sliding it down into the corner. Rebels have found a spring in their step with that equalizing goal. Now, back to the point. They fire a shot, and it's saved by Bambry. Not quite a full contingent. Dorsey's on the bench. I think it's some sort of contract dispute. He's holding out for more money. Boys piled up in the corner. Rebels come away. Try to dish it back to the point. Trying to hold the line. Now, here's Ferrara rolling it up to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer racing down. Centers it across. Ferrara gets a weak backhander off, but it's not enough. Now, in the slot, Bergmeyer trying to balance his way across. He can't do it. He sends it around to the near side to Ferrara. Ferrara from the corner. Avoids a huge check. Still holding the puck in the zone. Well done. Nolan back to Potts. Potts unloads. Not enough. As now the Rebels look to punch it through. Good job by Potter to stop that one and hold the line. Sent back down as the Rebels look to clear the zone. Now, through the neutral zone, the Rebels punch it down on the Hornets' end, and it's picked up by Potts, who looks up ice. Long stretch pass up to Ewers. Or Nolan. Nolan tips it up, but nobody was home. And the Rebels just throw it out of the zone. Waiting is Potter, who tries to slide it up to Bergmeyer. Now it's Potts. Looking. Oh, and here's a quick pick by a as the puck is scooped up, it's still held on the line and thrown right back down. As Potts works a huge guy into the wall. Picked up by Nolan. Nolan now looks up ice. With speed through the neutral zone. He's hassled, but he's still making progress. Now, rolling through in the high slot. Backhander firing pass. Nobody there to receive it as Bergmeyer takes his man up into the glass and stuns him as he looks at his face mask from the line. Nolan pitchforks it down into the Rebel end. 4:30 on the clock. As Hester meets his man, picks up the puck, gives it around to Ewers, who fires. And it's trapped away by the flashing leather of the Rebel tender. So Ivany, Hester, and Ewers backed up by Bauer and Helmer. From the backside, Bauer slides it across to Helmer. Helmer punches it down deep into the Rebel end. Ivany picks it up in the corner and assesses and looks at his options. Looking. Dishes it down. Hester speeds across the slot, trying to get control. It's slammed out. And Helmer slides it across. Bauer from the backside, up to Ewers, just on his backhand side, and the Rebels hold the zone. Driving it across, picked off there by Hester, who throws it up to Ivany. Ivany gains on the left side, looks across. There's the centering pass, and Ewers' stick was lifted in the air. Ivany from the corner, wheels, deals, looks. Chips it on down, well done. Ewers slides it across. Again, nobody home. Now the Rebels try to break out of the zone, but it's Ivany again, trying to toe drag it through. Stopped by the Rebels as they slide it up. Now it's a 1-on-0 situation. Rebels rolling in on the left side, toe dragging all the way around and losing the handle. Sliding up on the wall. Ivany pinches it up, but it's held on the line and thrown down. Bauer tries to chip it up. Now, nice little nifty backhand move, but it's swept up by the Rebels, who counter back the other way. Hester intercepting in the zone, sliding it across, trying to drive it down, finding Ewers in the corner, working it across to Ivany. Ivany tried to push it out front. We got something. I think the net was knocked off. 2:48 on the clock. Score knotted at 1. As Nolan, Kurvita, and Wilkins line up, backed by Darlene and Mizzelt. Puck slides down in the Rebel end. Looking up ice, stolen away by Wilkins, but he blew a tire at the last second. Rebels from behind the cage look up ice, looking for a lane. Nothing doing as this guy's going to have to take it himself, driving through the neutral zone. Slammed by Kurvita right to Darlene. Darlene, long stretch pass. Tried to get it to Wilkins. Boys still battling. Now Nolan in. Sliding across to Kravita. Kravita firing. Saved by the Rebel tender. Nolan punching it. Intercepted there by the Rebels as they break back the other way, looking for daylight. Now, gaining on the left side, firing it down. A weak shot that sails wide as the Rebels try to contain the zone, and there's Kravita now sliding it all the way across to Mizzle. Picked off by the Rebels from the corner, centering it right out in the slot. But the connection couldn't hold. Kravita from the wall, looking up. Through the neutral zone, he's got Nolan as he wheels in on the circle. Sliding it across. Wilkins fires. It's a rebound. Nothing. Now the Rebels break back the other way. Less than 2 minutes on the clock. Second frame. From the backside. Boys pressuring. Kravita bangs it through. And the Hornets will be getting a penalty, a roughing call. And with 1 minute and 32 seconds, Champlin Park will have the man advantage, as Wilkins will take a seat for 2 minutes. So Ferrara and Ivany on, backed up by Potts and Potter. Ivany on the draw, sent down to the corner. Potter holds up his man, and the puck is flung to the near side. Rebels trying to set up, pickpocketed there by Ivany. He throws it up to Ferrara, but he lost it in his skates, and the Rebels go D to D and reset. From the backside, Rebels with speed through the red line, wheeling across the blue line, looking, dropping, firing, saving. In that order. With just a few clicks more than a minute to go in this second period, who's going to break the ice? Off the draw, Rebels hold at the point. A firing high shot, sticked away and into the webbing. She winged it at him. So Ivany off the draw, picked up by Ferrara. Ferrara rolls through, and he's picked off at the red line by the Rebs, who come back with force, leaving it at the point. Looking, firing down. There's a rebound, swept away by Potter, who throws it to the near side. Rebels pinch and hold the zone. From the corner, setting up shop. Rebels look on the circle. Intercepted by Ivany, who tries to sneak it out of the zone, but nothing doing. The Rebels are holding firm. In the slot, firing over the net. Back to the point again, down to the circle. Rebels with control as they wheel and they look for an option. Down on the circle, driving in on the dot, firing, clanker, another, banging, so much banging, and not in, and in, it is in. Hornets are protesting, but the ref is calling it a goal with 18.2 on the clock. Tremendous action out front. And Champlin Park has their first lead of the game, 2-1. So Nolan, Hester, and Ewers, Bauer, and Helmer. Tough way to finish out the period as Helmer from the backside slides it up to Ewers. Ewers driving in. Ewers firing. Saved by the Rebel tender. 5 seconds to play in the second. Rolling. Around the backside of the net. And that'll do it. And we're going to get a resurface. Maybe. No, it doesn't look like we're getting a resurface. I don't know. Yes, we are. The door is opening. So we'll be back in 10. All right, fresh 15 on the clock. Just about to get the puck drop for the final frame of this tilt against Champlin Park, where your Hornets are down 2-1. I can't say it's the prettiest game of hockey we've seen out of our Hornets, but we have work to do. So, Ivany, Hester, Ewers, backed up by Potts and Potter. Rebels driving down deep into the Hornet end, and they sling it around to the near side. Picked up by Hester, who throws it up to Ewers, and it's on its backhand side and sails all the way down. Icing is waved off as the Rebels wheel it around the cage. Ewers doing a good job disrupting play as Rebels have to clear it across to the opposite side. Ivany holding it up on the line, picking it off. Now, rolling across the blue line. All the way, leaving it to Hester. Hester slides it to Ivany. Short side, nothing doing. As Ivany is pinned up against the glass, trying to work his way around. Rebel persistent. As Ewers throws it out front, it's swept away. Ewers working on the sideboards, trying to drive it. As Potter sneaks it back into the waiting arms of Ewers, who rolls from the corner. Back to Potter at the point. Firing on net. Ivany couldn't get the tip on it, and the Rebels pitch it down, all the way down, and we will get an icing. So Nolan, Ferrara, Bergmeyer, Helmer, Bauer, Nolan on the drop. Tied up. Rebels try to sweep it around the cage. Bergmeyer disrupts play. The Rebels are contained down behind their net. Good forecheck by the Hornets as it's held on the line, and Bauer pinches it down. Bergmeyer tried to drive in, and here come the Rebels countering back the other way. Bauer sweeps it aside, and Helmer turns it up ice. Long stretcher up to Bergmeyer. He gains the line. He tries to throw it across, and it's swept back by the Rebels. To the point. Bauer looks. Throws it on net. Deep down as the Rebels now contained. Up on the wall. Nolan holds his own. Fires it across. And it's picked up by the Rebels, who counter back through the red line. Throwing it down into the Hornet end and going for a wholesale line change. Here's a break for the Hornets as they got numbers. And Ferrara content just to slide it down. Breaking across the ice, it's Helmer. Helmer throwing it up to Ferrara, who gains on the right side. Loses the handle. And the Rebels counter with speed. Gaining on the left side. Walking around. Trying to center out. And there was a naked pass. Nobody there to collect it. Now, a break. Ferrara rolling down. He is totally interfered with. No call. As the puck slides out and contained by Darlene at the red line, who goes down to Mizzle. Ivany picks it up all the way across to Darlene. Darlene punches it up to Kervita. Kervita gains on the right side, slides it over to Mizzle. Hot pass, couldn't be contained. Ivany holding his man to the outside and is content just to throw it down deep into the Hornet end. Ivany sliding it to Darlene. Pitching it up to Kervita. Kervita stops short on the circle, and Darlene has to come in. Sweep it around the net to Mizzle on the far side corner. He dishes it back. It's a foot race. Mizzle comes away, sliding it up to Wilkins, who pitches it up to Ivany. Ivany now across the blue line, sliding it across to Mizzle, and the puck never made it there. And it's covered up by the Rebel tender with 11:31 on the clock, and the score stubbornly at 2-1 in favor of Champlin Park. As Nolan, Ewers, and Hester roll on with Potter and Potts. Leg saved by the Rebel tender as Ewers throws it down to Nolan in the corner, trying to slide it out front. Hits traffic as he wheels around the circle, Nolan driving. Sliding it back to Potter. Potter releases. A leg save by the Rebel tender. Ewers in the corner, holding his man. Hester in to help out. Picked up by the Rebs, and they throw it up on the wall. Held by Potts on the line. sliding it over, just couldn't hold the zone, and Hester's going to have to reset at the red line. Potts looks up ice to Hester. Hester slides it to Nolan. Nolan across the line. He wheels, he deals, and he's hassled by two Rebels who throw it back the other way. Good kick save there by Potter to hold the zone, and the Rebels slide it to the opposite side and look for daylight. Punching it up on the wall. Nolan shovels it right back. Held on the line. A shot from the point by Nolan, covered up by the Rebel tender. With 10:32 on the clock. And we'll do it again. Tied up on the dot. Ewers now sliding it to Hester. Hester trying to get it down to Ewers, who punches it right back to Hester. Hester back to the point to Potts. Potts looks down to Hester. Hester on the wall, driving in, on the dot, firing. The rebound was in the offing, but no one was home. Ewers from the corner, tied up by his man, still driving it. Hester trying to deliver it over, and Potter drives down around the circle, looking at options. He just releases behind the cage. Ewers working it, looking for an outlet. Back to Hester, one-timer! Turned away by the Rebel tender as it's held again. Good job, Potts. Rebels can't seem to punch it out of the zone, so now they wheel up on the right side and just dish right back down by Potter. Held on the line, but it sneaks back to Potts, who assesses to Potter. Potter looks, crosses the red line, and just pitches it down into the Rebel end, and some of the Hornets go for a line change. Rebels from the far side corner go rink wide to the near side. Losing the puck. And it's held up by Bauer on the blue line, who pitches it up to Bergmeyer. Bergmeyer driving his way through. On the dot, firing, turned away. Oh, there's a trip there, and the Hornets will be on the man advantage with 9:11. So Nolan, Hester, Kervita, Bauer, and Mizzelt. Puck comes away to the Rebels as they look up ice, and they throw it all the way down onto Banbury. Bauer from the backside, hassled, pinned up against the wall. Comes away to Nolan. Nolan's got a race for it. Picked off, and the Rebels hold the zone. Hornets having a tough time getting organized on this power play. As now finally from the backside, Bauer looks up ice. Rolling with speed through the neutral zone. Gains on the left side, stops at the point, looks across, slides it to Mizzelt. Mizzelt sweeps around the circle, looking for that centering opportunity. All the way around. Drops it off to Hester. Back to Mizzelt. Mizzelt does more sweeping, and a firing shot. There's the rebound. A banging! Bauer hammers home the rebound. And this game is tied 2-2 with 8:19 on the clock. I think if the Hornets came away with a win tonight, we should be thankful. Because this hasn't been our best brand of hockey. Nolan racing up, gaining, walking around the circle, and he's knocked off the puck. Hester in, trying to sweep it across. Rebels pick it up, and now, with speed, rolling through the blue line. Through the legs, but saved by Banbury as a Rebel crashes into the net and dislodges it. So Nolan on the drop, trying to battle his way through, and it's punched up on the wall. As Nolan now tries to release it and then slings back down to the Rebel D. They slide it across, looking at options, throwing it back D to D style, wasting valuable time as now both teams are full strength. Ewers from the circle, sliding it down to the corner to Nolan. Right out front, there it is, firing! Nice save by the Rebel tender. As Bauer took another nice shot. Here come the Rebels rolling in. A firing shot, fires wide. Rebels now swept aside, stick checked off, hit the ref skates, and we get it offsides. 7:10 on the clock. So we got Ivan Ferrara and Wilkins. No, that's Bergmeyer. God, these black jerseys are hard. From the backside, Rebels pitch it up and now enter the neutral zone with an attempt to get some organization going. They go D to D, looking for a lane. Firing a long stretch pass, intercepted by Potts, who throws it down, and we get an offsides. Ivany on the draw, slung back and across to Potter. Potter's going to gain the line by just pitching it down into the Rebel zone. Bergmeyer meets his man on the wall, sneaks past him. Farrar picks it up and drops it to no one. Rebels now driving up the left side, held by Potts, who throws it down. Now it's cleared out of the slot by the Rebels as Potter chips it up the wall, and it's banged right back. Rebels throw it down into the Hornet end, where Potter looks up ice. Sliding it all the way across. Bergmeyer picks it up, looks at his options, throws it back, and now it's up to Potter at the red line. Sailing it down into the Rebel end. Bergmeyer chases his man as the puck is sent to the near side. Stick handling dangerously in the slot. This Rebel's going to do it all himself. 3-on-2 situation, rolling in all the way around, trying to get it out front, banged away. Rebels still hold his own in the high slot. Firing shot. Now we're going to get something. And the net is off. It's moorings with 5:45 to play. So Nolan Wilkins Kervita, as Mizzle picks it up and rolls around the cage. Mizzle sweeping up with one hand, slides it across to Nolan. Nolan tries to drive it up, but the Rebels counter from the backside. Long rink-wide pass, picked off by Darling in the zone. He brings it up to Nolan, picked up by Kervita. He's got Wilkins streaking a 3-on-2 situation. A hot pass to Wilkins. It was too hot. Nolan from behind the cage, looks. Walks around into the slot, trying to get a shot off. It's traffic. Mizzle around the cage. Short side shot. Rolls over the cage. Kervita from behind. It's Wilkins who picks it up. He slides it back to Nolan at the point. It's picked off by Darlene. Darlene drives in. He fires into equipment. Rebels pitch it up, but fortunately into Darlene. Darlene curls, turns, burns. Slides across to Nolan. Nolan gains on the left side. Rolls in on the dot. Fires into the webbing. With 4:44 to go, this game is tied at 2. As Ivany, Hester, and Ewers roll on, backed up by Helmer and Bauer. Ivany holds the line, but here come the Rebels with numbers across the red line, across the blue line, streaking in, punched out, all the way out by Bauer. Good job as the Rebels go D to D and reset. Up on the line, picked up by Helmer in the Hornet end. Looks across to Bauer. Bauer from the corner, looking up ice. Slides it up to Ewers. Can't quite find the handle, and the Rebels hold the zone. punch it right back down. Bauer tries again from behind. Sliding it to Helmer. Helmer back to Bauer. Bauer, long frisbee all the way up. It was so hard of a pass that it knocked Hester over. Ivany rolling in, toe drag, trying to dribble it across, and it's saved by the Rebel tender. Ewers from the corner, over skates. As Ivany picks it up on the far side wall, sliding it around, into the high slot, working it, trying to roll, sliding it down. Hester, wheeling, dealing. No, that's Helmer. Helmer slides it into the slot, a firing shot, up into the glass. The Rebel tender got a piece. Hester sliding it to Ewers, right out front to Ivany. Ivany stood up as the Rebels try to work it out of the slot area. 3.5 minutes to play. As Bauer from the backside looks up. Rebels going for a line change. They pick it off in the zone, but it's picked off by Helmer. Helmer slides across the line, gets it over to Hester, skips his stick as Hester bangs and tries to keep the zone. Nolan on the line. Rebels pick it off, slide it across, disrupted by Bergmeyer. And the Rebels punch it down deep into the Edina end. Helmer from the corner slides it all the way up, and this one's going to go down for an icing with 2:53 on the clock. Nolan off the draw. Potter trying to bang it up the wall. He's tied up on the wall, and Nolan comes in to help out. Rebels driving in. A shot. It's free in the slot. It's covered up by Banbury. Off the draw. Rebels, a shot. Covered up. Nolan off the draw. Rebs contained in the zone from the point. A shot sails high into the webbing. Off the draw, a pass back to the point. No one was home. Bergmeyer racing in. Bergmeyer around the net. Wheels, deals, leaves it off for Nolan. Nolan now sweeping from the corner, gets it back to Potter. Potter misplays it off his foot. Now it's a foot race. Potter's going to have to clean this one up on the backside. Sliding it to Potts. Potts looks up. Potts. Long frisbee pass up to Ferrara, a bit too hot. Puck sent down into the corner, and Rebels pitch it to the far side. They slide it up the boards. Mishandled the puck, almost stolen there by Ferrara, and it sneaks out of the zone, and Potts retrieves. He slides it to Potter. Less than 2 minutes to play. All the way up, just beyond Ferrara's reach, and we will get an icing. Ivany, Wilkinson, Kervita, backed up by Darlene and Mizzle. Puck tied up into the slot area. Darlene picks it up, pitches it up the boards. Roll. Gains on the right side. 3-on-1. Oh, offsides. With 1:36 on the clock. Ivany on the draw, puck sent to the far side. Rebels punch it down into the Edina end. Mizzle grabs it behind the cage, throws it over to Darlene. Darlene looks up. Frisbee saucer pass. It was meant for Wilkins, but Ivany tipped it down. Here come the Rebels driving in on the circle. Looking. Mizzle boxing his man to the outside. Ivany helps out. Wilkins comes in, cleans it up. He slides it up to Darlene. Darlene tries to punch it across. Rebels from the backside, sliding it up, intercepted by Mizzle, who drives on the left side. Wheeling in, firing shot over the net. Kervita holding the zone, punching it down to Wilkins. Wilkins trying to drive it. He gets it back to Kervita. Kervita looks. Over to, Mizzle! Almost a one-timer opportunity as it sneaks back and Darlene holds the line. Firing from the point. Comes back. There's a rebound. Slipped up to Kervita. Kervita leaves it to Mizzle. Mizzle back to Darlene. Darlene at the point. Fires. Tip. And a save. Wow. Ooh, frothiness out front. A lot of froth. Full-on froth effect. With 29 seconds. So we're going to get some coincidentals and then some. So for whatever reason, maybe got a 2 and 10, I don't know. But we're still 5-on-5 hockey. So Nolan, Ewers, Hester, backed up by now we're getting it right. 5-on-4 hockey. Go home. All right, 30 seconds to make the magic happen. Nolan on the draw. Rebs driving. Oh, we're going to get a hooking penalty as it slides all the way down. That is indeed the case. The man advantage is neutralized. And we'll have 22 seconds left in this contest.
Outside the zone, there's an icing on a... Outside the zone! Outside the zone! There's icing outside the zone! Outside the zone, there's icing! It's outside the zone!
Nolan off the draw, punch, puck time. Here's an opportunity in the final seconds. Nolan streaking down. He's got Ewers. Sliding it across. A hot pass got deflected. Now up in the near side wall. Rebels with their final attempt. 2-on-1 situation. Rolling in. Mizzle, last man back. Or no, it's Bauer. Puck skittles into the corner. As Ewers now picks it up with 3 seconds. That's it. And we end in a tie. We came all this way to tie. So, onward and upward to North Dakota this weekend. Be there or be square and enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening.